Joe Woodhouse here from Family Wealth 101. Let's talk about offshore bank accounts. Now for some, offshore bank accounts portray this image of Al Capone, some Hollywood blockbuster, a web of lies and deceit, or Jimmy Carr. I actually know a really good Jimmy Carr joke, but now it's probably not the time or the place. Coming up, 6 reasons why you need an offshore bank account. Okay, let's break the myth. Offshore bank accounts are not illegal. Most people can have them. When I was living in the UK, I had one. Actually no, I had 2, in US dollar and euros, and I used them when I was traveling. So I didn't have to carry large sums of cash around with me or pay ridiculous bank fees when using my pound debit card in either a US dollar or a euro ATM. But for expats in particular, a great tool. And here's why. In many countries, bank deposits don't get the same protection to what we're used to back home. By using an offshore bank account in a highly regulated, secure jurisdiction, somewhere such as the Isle of Man, for example, you can rest easy knowing that your money's safe. Remember Cyprus 5 years ago, when people suddenly blocked from drawing out their own cash from their own bank account? And what if you lived in the Middle East? The first bit of advice we give to anyone is get your cash out of here. We're guests, and we've all heard the horror stories, and I've seen it happen numerous times in various different countries throughout the GCC. If you upset the wrong person here, if something goes wrong, your bank accounts can freeze. So does the money inside there. Or even worse, what if you were to die? Are you 100% sure that your wife, your husband, your family can get access to your cash? Do you know how Sharia law works? Do you know how it affects your money held here? By banking offshore, you remove yourself from threats such as these. Offshore banking usually provides high levels of customer service through online and telephone banking, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Remember, they're aimed at international people, or expats, and there's always somewhere awake. And in most cases, you should get your own relationship manager. And relating to this, I myself got stuck in a bit of a situation recently. I have a UK bank account with a bank I shall not name. I needed to do an online transfer. In order to complete the online transfer, I needed a UK mobile phone number. I've not got one. So I called up, tried explaining the situation, and they said, look, the only way you can resolve it is by going into a branch with your ID. I live in Abu Dhabi, and I have no intention of going home until Christmas. So I explained this, still not good enough. And all the while it cost me £100 in overseas phone calls, which they then refused to refund. So for now, it looks like my money's stuck there. It's not a major issue because I've got an offshore bank account in the Isle of Man which I can do the transfer from. But what if that was my only bank account? The life of an expat can be pretty transient. You were born in country A, you've worked in country B, your wife's from country C, you've been offered an amazing job in country D, your kids want to go to university in country E, but you want to retire in country S. I once met a guy that lived in 38 different countries throughout his working life. 38. Being able to keep your bank account in one place, no matter what country you move to, is a massive benefit. We all know how much hassle it can be opening and closing bank accounts. There can be tax advantages to using offshore bank accounts, but these depend on your personal circumstances, such as residence or citizenship. Now, these benefits can be from keeping money outside the jurisdiction of your home country or protecting it from where you're currently resident. But if you want to know whether offshore banking will really deliver you any tax benefits, you need to speak to a professional. You can hold multi-currency accounts with most offshore banks, meaning transferring between different currencies is easy and fast. This alone is the main reason why most people have offshore accounts. Depending which bank you choose, some are basically a private banking service, offering lending and credit facilities sometimes much lower than the normal market rate, especially for an expat. For example, if you're wanting to buy a property and need a mortgage, your new offshore bank account may be able to help. I'm Joe, and that was Family Wealth 101.